Anakin walked through the Senate corridors in Coruscant, his heart racing. He had just left Palpatine's quarters, where the mask had finally fallen. The Chancellor had confessed, with his calm and poisonous voice, to being the Sith Lord the Jedi had been hunting for so long. Anakin couldn't believe it, but the force of his words echoed in his mind like thunder. I am the one who can save Padme from death. Only I possess that power. The young knight walked away, determined not to carry this secret alone. For the first time, Anakin decided not to remain silent. He arrived at the Jedi Temple without rest, going straight to Mace Windu. The Master's intense eyes fixed on him as he noticed the restlessness. "What happened, Skywalker?" Windu asked. Anakin took a deep breath and declared without hesitation, "Palpatine. He is the Sith Lord, the very one who has been manipulating this war from the beginning." The silence that followed was thick, only broken by the distant sound of ships flying over Coruscant. Windu didn't speak immediately, studying the young Jedi's face, trying to perceive any trace of deception or doubt. "Are you sure of what you're saying?" Windu finally questioned, his grave voice laden with caution. "Yes, Master. I heard him with my own ears. He tried to seduce me with promises of power and of saving Padme's life." When mentioning the senator's name, Anakin looked away for an instant, but quickly regained his firmness. "There are no more doubts, Master. He controls the Senate, controls the clones, and is about to destroy the Republic." Anakin's words sounded like a blow, and Windu nodded slowly. Shortly after, about to travel to Kashyyyk, Yoda was called back. Upon meeting Anakin and Windu, he immediately realized that something grave had happened. "Dark, the atmosphere is. Speak, Skywalker. What have you discovered?" The young man turned to the Master and didn't hesitate. "Palpatine is the Sith Lord." Yoda's ears tilted, and for an instant the small Master only closed his eyes, as if he had been expecting that revelation for a long time. Then, "Exposed is the enemy we have sought so much," Yoda murmured. "The difficult decision has arrived. Act we must, without delay." Windu paced back and forth, quickly reflecting on the situation. "He has political control, Master Yoda. We cannot simply attack him before the Senate. We need to act with intelligence, or we will be accused of treason." Anakin stepped forward. "We cannot wait. Every second that passes, he strengthens his control over the galaxy." The climate between them was tense, and the council was soon summoned for an emergency meeting. The Masters listened in silence to the revelation, shocked by Palpatine's audacity in hiding in plain sight. Yoda took the floor. "The truth. Now we know. But together we must be, or failure we will find." Yoda's presence, so decisive, made the difference. No one doubted that, with him leading, there was a real chance of winning. Windu then looked at Anakin with rare seriousness. "Skywalker, you did well in coming to us. Perhaps now the prophecy about the Chosen One begins to reveal itself. But no, the path ahead will be dangerous, and your loyalty will be tested at every moment." Anakin raised his chin, firm. "My loyalty is to the Republic, and to the Jedi Order." The words, spoken without wavering, surprised even Windu himself. Yoda rested his staff on the ground and added, "Brave you were, young Skywalker. But now, unite our forces we must. Palpatine must not escape." Anakin felt relief hearing this, for he knew he wouldn't be alone in this fight. With Yoda and Windu by his side, the shadow of fear began to dissipate. Still, the approaching battle promised to be the hardest of all. While the council discussed strategy, Anakin thought of Padme. The fear of losing her still burned in his heart. But now he was decided. He wouldn't follow Palpatine. If there was a chance to save her, it wouldn't be through the dark side. "I will fight for her and for the Republic," he murmured to himself. This decision, in that instant, changed the destiny of the entire galaxy. The first step had been taken. Palpatine could no longer act in the shadows. The secret had been exposed, and the Jedi prepared the counterattack. In Coruscant, night was falling, but for the first time in a long while, Anakin felt that perhaps dawn could emerge. It was only the beginning of a plot that would decide everyone's future. The following morning, Yoda, Windu, and Anakin met again to define the next steps. "Directly to the Senate we cannot go," said Yoda. "Proof we need. Otherwise, against us, opinion will turn." Windu agreed. He controls not only politicians, but also generals and governors. If we attack without the Senate prepared, we will be seen as coup plotters. Anakin clenched his fists. "But how much longer will we wait? Every minute he plans something against us." It was decided that a delegation of Jedi would discreetly infiltrate the Senate to observe Palpatine during his planned speech. The objective was to gather irrefutable proof of his connection to the dark side. Masters agreed to support the operation, while Yoda, Windu, and Anakin would lead the final action. "A thread of hope. Only we have. Caution, we must use," Yoda warned. However, the tension increased within Anakin himself. The dreams about Padme became more intense, showing her in pain and suffering. One night he went to Yoda seeking advice. "Losing someone you love, difficult it is. But attachment, source of suffering becomes. Release you must, if victory you wish to achieve." Anakin lowered his head, struggling against the weight of his emotions. "What if I can't, Master? What if I'm too weak?" Yoda only responded, "Weakness, to admit, is. Strength you can find." Meanwhile, Palpatine already sensed that something was wrong. The Force whispered to him about Anakin's betrayal, and the Chancellor began to prepare his trap. He planned to use the Senate as a stage to consolidate his power, but now he was ready to transform any accusation against him into a political spectacle. "They will come," he thought, "and when they come, it will be the end of the Jedi Order." Anakin, for his part, tried to maintain focus. He spent hours in silence, sitting in the council chamber, reflecting on Yoda's words and remembering Qui-Gon Jinn. In his mind, the memory echoed. "He believed in me when no one believed. I cannot fail now." Young Skywalker was torn between anxiety and determination, but deep down, he knew his choice had already been made. On the appointed day, the Senate gathered in extraordinary session. Palpatine prepared to announce even more radical measures of military control. Among the numerous representatives, Padme and Organa were present, worried about the direction the Republic was taking. Anakin observed from afar, hidden among the shadows alongside Yoda and Windu. His heart raced seeing Padme, but he forced himself to keep his mind firm. When Palpatine began to speak, his voice sounded calm, but laden with manipulation. "My senators, war demands harsh measures, and only with full authority can we defeat the separatists." The words echoed through the vast hall, but Yoda whispered, "Lies, all are. See, they will see." Windu kept his eyes fixed, ready for the moment to act. The Jedi advanced discreetly to one of the platforms closest to the center, observing Palpatine's every move. The climate inside the Senate became one of distrust. "He won't be able to hide anymore," Anakin murmured. Yoda shook his head, feeling the Force converge. "Revealed, the enemy will be. Prepared we must be." From that moment on, there was no turning back. The game of shadows was ending, and the decisive battle was approaching. Palpatine would realize in moments that his farce had come to an end, and the fight for the soul of the galaxy would be waged before everyone. The Senate hall exploded in tension when Windu raised his voice. "In the name of the Republic, you are under arrest, my lord." The murmur among the senators turned into shock, while Palpatine feigned surprise. "How dare you accuse me? I, who have dedicated my life to the Republic." His mask, however, no longer held. Anakin advanced a few steps, facing him with fury. "Stop pretending. I know the truth. You are the Sith Lord who is destroying the galaxy." Palpatine laughed, his voice reverberating through the Senate. "And you, Anakin, could have been my successor. Together we would rule. I would have given you the power to save Padme." Hearing his wife's name, Anakin clenched his fists, but responded firmly, "I don't need you to save her. The only future you'll have is in prison, or worse. The senators murmured louder and louder, some already demanding immediate explanations. No longer hiding his true face, Palpatine leaped from the command center, activating his red saber. The hall was filled with the glow of plasma and the screams of panic from the senators. Windu drew his purple blade, Yoda raised his staff, and Anakin activated his blue saber in perfect synchrony. The long-awaited confrontation began before thousands of eyes. The strikes echoed through the room, each movement causing sparks to scatter across the platforms. Palpatine fought with ferocity, driven by hatred, but he faced three formidable opponents. "You cannot defeat me. I am the Senate," he shouted, trying to use his influence even in his words. Windu responded firmly, "No, you are just another tyrant." In the midst of battle, Palpatine launched Force lightning at Anakin, who raised his saber to defend himself. The impact pushed him backward, but Yoda leaped to his aid, absorbing part of the energy with his hand. "Destructive power, only that you have. Victory, you will not achieve." The Master's voice echoed calmly, but firm as steel. Palpatine, furious, concentrated his attack on Windu, trying to knock him off the platform. But Anakin took advantage of the opening and advanced with impressive speed, striking the Sith's arm and disarming him. The red saber fell into the abyss, and momentary silence swept through the Senate. Palpatine screamed in fury, his political mask destroyed. "It won't end like this!" he roared, launching a wave of energy that nearly knocked everyone off the platform. Anakin resisted, advancing even against the storm of power. "It's over, Palpatine!" With one final movement, he pressed his blade against the Sith's chest, piercing through. The body of the ascending Emperor fell lifeless, and the darkness that hung over the room began to dissipate. The senators remained silent, witnessing the end of an era. Windu sheathed his saber and declared, "The Sith Lord has been defeated. The Republic is free." Padme, in tears, looked at Anakin from a distance, proud of his choice. He, in turn, only closed his eyes, letting the weight of the decision settle in his soul. Yoda then added, "The prophecy, fulfilled it was. Balance brought the chosen one." The words echoed through the Senate, and hope began to be reborn. Anakin felt within himself that he had made the right choice, even though fear still existed. This time, he didn't bow to the dark side. This time, the future had been rewritten. After Palpatine's fall, the Jedi Council gathered in Coruscant to deliberate on the events. The victory was undeniable, and all recognized that without Anakin, the Order and the Republic would have succumbed to Sith dominion. Mace Windu was the first to speak before the other masters. Skywalker not only brought the truth, but also led the decisive charge against the Sith Lord. He accomplished what many doubted was possible. The time has come to recognize his maturity. In consensus, the Council decided to elevate him to the position of Jedi Master, becoming one of the youngest in history to achieve such a title, but with unquestionable merit. Yoda completed the decision solemnly. "Master, now he is. The chosen one always was. Doubted we did, but right was Qui-Gon Jinn. Vision he had when he brought the boy from Tatooine." Qui-Gon's name echoed in the room, and Anakin felt a tightness in his heart, remembering the one who first believed in him when everyone rejected him. Upon being officially recognized as Master, Anakin rose before the Council with humility. "I promise to honor the Order and maintain the balance entrusted to me." The moment marked not only his consecration, but also the confirmation of Qui-Gon's legacy, whose visionary gaze was now revered by the entire Order. The Jedi Order, still wounded but not destroyed, prepared for a new era. The Republic, free from the shadow of a tyrant, had the chance to rebuild itself. And Anakin Skywalker, for the first time, was seen not as a threat, but as the hero who had defeated the galaxy's greatest enemy. Destiny was sealed.